There's a deacon friend of mine who lost his son in a car accident at the age of 18. And when he spoke at his funeral, he said, "There's a Christian joy here that I'm not ready to accept." On Thursday night, I was preparing a homily for a Gaudate Sunday, rejoice, a day of rejoicing in anticipation of the coming of our Lord into our lives through the compassion of the Father on Christmas Day. Rejoice. On Friday morning, something happened that made it impossible to rejoice. A tragedy of enormous proportions in the western end of Connecticut, in a little town, and 20 children were killed, and 6 or 8 adults, profoundly affecting that community, indeed the world, and anybody who heard about that tragedy. So it's impossible to rejoice today. But yet, embedded in that saying of that deacon is that joy is embedded in our faith. It's part of our faith. We heard many news accounts over the last day or so about this tragedy, interviewing people, and all of the comments were very similar. It's devastating. It's horrible. It's inconceivable. It's unspeakable. It's evil. We have feelings of pain, of agony, of anger. All these come to the one question of why. We can't answer that question. There's only one place where we will ever get the answer to those whys, and we're not there yet. You know, we talk about faith, and in the gospel today, we hear St. John speaking to us of faith. People come to John. He's out in the desert, and they have received the faith. They've been baptized. And now they return to John and say, now that we have this faith, what do we do with it? How should we act? And he tells the people that if you are a person who has 2 cloaks and your friend has none, then give him one of your cloaks. And to the tax collectors, known to be cheats, he says to them, don't cheat anymore. Don't overcharge people. Be fair. Care about your brothers. And even the soldiers come to him. And the soldiers who frequently and notoriously abuse their power. And John says, don't abuse your power anymore. Be kind. Be fair. Don't lie and falsify charges. This is the action of faith. We will see this in God's great compassion of bringing his Son to the earth on Christmas Day, something we truly rejoice about. But in Jesus' public ministry, he is going to hammer home that same message that John was repeating to the people and the tax collectors and the soldiers, that we need to exercise our faith outside of ourselves. That's the answer to that question. What should we do with this faith? And I say to you that embedded in that faith is a joy. It's the same joy that God the Father felt in his compassion in bringing his Son to the earth. Doesn't mean that we feel a wonderful jumping up and down joy all of the time, but that we act on that faith to the extent now, in the midst of this tragedy, that we are able to embrace our brothers and sisters in the western Sandy Hook and the end of Connecticut, then we are exercising a certain Christian joy because we are extending our faith to them through the means of our own prayer, of our own compassion, of our own feelings, all of which we suffer and feel. So yes, there is a certain gaudete today that we feel, a certain rejoicing. We don't feel the happiness and we don't feel the joy, but we have the faith. And that is where our true joy is. God bless you.